So we will start with the first section, technical section today itself by Dr. Sunil job. And every day we will have live sections. Maybe it will go up to 2 hours from 7 to 9. And if in any case you could not attend, you cannot attend the session, the live sections will have the recordings available. And more than that, we have a learning management system which will provide you with more content. And there are tasks and assignments in the learning management system. And you can subscribe to that learning management system so that a lot of learning will be happening there. As all of us know, outcome-based education means there is a paradigm shift from teaching to learning. So a lot of learning activities should be there for, even for this faculty development program. And we have designed the LMS in such a way that more learning will happen there. So I will just give you an idea about how this learning management system will work so that you can start practicing on the learning management system from today onwards. Your busy schedule, you can start practicing on the LMS, and you will get 1 more week extra for doing your task and assignments. As everybody knows, in March, every faculty member may be busy with many activities in your education institutions. So in any case, if you miss some of the sessions, or if you could find enough time for doing the task in the LMS within this 7 days, you will get more time, maybe at least 1 week extra you will get for doing your task in the LMS. So this is the LMS. You will, I think most of you have received the login for this. All those who have paid for this LMS, you will get the access. And there are some, activities like there is a doubt clearance forum where you can have, if you have any doubts, you can post it there so that we will take it up. Or the participants itself, they can comment on the doubts. Again, we have a research forum which will be on innovative teaching, learning, and assessment methods. If you are following some best practices in your institutions, you can definitely submit those best practices so that your peer faculty members, they will also benefit from it. And there will be recorded sections of every day. Like today, we have the inaugural ceremony, and 1 more section will be there. So you'll have some tasks and assignments, like I already mentioned. There is a task called the lesson activity. That is a feature of the Moodle, where assurance of learning concept is introduced, so that you can go. We have 3 videos uploaded there, so that you can go through these videos, and there will be a multiple choice question at the end of that video, and you can practice it. You can attempt that questions, and if you pass that test, you can go to the next video. The same way, if you could not pass the first test, you can just review the video again. In that way, it will progress, so that you will be thorough with the Bloom's taxonomy concept. So, and that will be the foundation of outcome-based education. Then there will be a task. It is the question paper analysis on the basis of Bloom's taxonomy. So you can download an Excel sheet from there, so that you can have the analysis of your question paper, and you can just see how it will work, how the quality of your question paper and all. Definitely, this task will be explained by the resource persons, and there will be a Padlet uploaded in the LMS, where you can post your questions based on the different learning levels. So after going through this video and after going through the section on Bloom's taxonomy, you will be thorough with the Bloom's taxonomy learning levels. So, and some of the questions are already submitted by some faculty members who have attended the previous faculty development program. And you can have your comments or suggestions on the Padlet. And there is another video about Padlet there, so that you can just watch that video on Padlet, and you can start, you can have your own Padlet account, so that you can use that Padlet for your teaching, learning or purposes. Then we have more activities in the coming days. We have a section by Dr. Suresh Nambudiri. He's from industry. The topic will be the underlying threats of OBE. And again, we have more tasks and assignments, like there is a task called a workshop activity. Again, that is a feature of a Moodle, where you will submit your assignments, and the other participants, they can evaluate your assignments. And you will also evaluate some of the assignments submitted by other participants, so that more learning will happen that way. So collaborative learning will happen, and you can go through. Again, we have a Padlet for submitting your course outcomes. Already you might have designed course outcomes for our institutions. You can go through these course outcomes once more, and you can comment on those course outcomes again. So in that way it will go, and you will have many reference materials available in the LMS. Lot of reference materials are there. There is a material called OBE manual. So once if you are implementing outcome-based education in your institution, you should have an OBE manual. So there is a template that is of OBE manual. In that way, a lot of other reference materials are available. And the videos of the previous sections. We are conducting a faculty development program almost every month, at least 1 or 2 FDPs on OBE every month. So we'll have the recorded versions of the previous sections. Then there are some useful education tools available, so that these are some creative tools which are available free of cost, so that you can use some of these tools for your teaching purposes. So in that way, this will progress for the 7 days. There will be sections on 5 days, and Saturday and Sunday. Of course, you can have the activities on the LMS you can do on the week, the holidays. And again, as I mentioned earlier, you will get 1 more week extended for doing the task and assignments in the LMS. So I hope you will enjoy this faculty development program. Once again, I thank all the participants who have joined us. Definitely, we'll have interesting learning experience in the coming days. We'll interact with each other every day. We'll have some interactive sections, some question answer sections, and all those things, so that we will ensure that all those participants who are attending this faculty development program will be an expert at the end of this faculty development program, will be an expert in OBE. So thank you once again, and let's proceed to the next section.
Thank you, Mendus, sir. Thank you for that information. Dr. Rajan Gurukul won't be joining us as he's having some network issues. So, the keynote address was supposed to be delivered by Dr. Mohan Kunnumal, Vice Chancellor, Kerala University of Health Sciences. He's unable to attend because of some important engagements at the last moment. In that absence, we have a special message from special invitee, Dr. Rajasree R. She's the Dean, Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Kerala University of Health Sciences. She is working as professor at the College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Government Medical College, in the Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry. Dr. Rajasree has over 25 years of experience as a teacher. She earned her PhD in Pharmaceutical Sciences from Mahatma Gandhi University, Kottayam, Kerala. She has had many research papers to her credit, and also she was a resource person for many national level seminars and symposiums. She has FPGEC certification from National Associations of Boards of Pharmacy, USA. She is a member of KPGA, APTI, Indian Society of Toxicology, and life member of Pharmaceutical Society of Kerala. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much for the nice words of introduction. Most respected Dr. Rajan Gurukul, Vice Chairman, Kerala State Higher Education Council, Dr. Mendus Jacob, Professor and Director, MCA Marian College, Kuttikanam, Reverend Dr. Antu Alappadan, Director, St. James Hospital, Chalakudy, Dr. 𝐻𝐤𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐻, Principal, St. James College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Dr. Terese, Principal, St. James College of Nursing, esteemed principals, faculty members, and other delegates from higher educational institutions across the nation. I am honored to be speaking to you today at this national level online faculty development program on outcome-based education. Firstly, I would like to express my gratitude to the Kerala State Higher Education Council, to their association with St. James College of Nursing and St. James College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Chalakudy, in organizing this program. As we all know, outcome-based education is a student-centered approach that focuses on end-goal learning, which is to acquire specific knowledge, skills, and attitudes. The importance of outcome-based education cannot be overstated. Knowledge, skills, and as it has been adopted worldwide as a framework for curriculum design, teaching, and assessment. It is essential to impart this knowledge to faculty members of higher education institutions who are responsible for developing and delivering educational programs that meet the evolving needs of our society. Faculty development programs are essential in medical education as they offer platform for continuous professional development for faculty members, ensuring that they remain updated with the latest knowledge and teaching practices. FDPs provide opportunities for faculty members to develop new skills, enhancing their teaching methods and become better educators. Medical education is a rapidly evolving field with new developments and discoveries constantly emerging. As such, it is crucial for medical faculty members to keep updated with the latest advancement and practices. FDPs offer platform for discussion and learning, enabling medical faculty members to stay current in their respective fields. Moreover, it gives us a chance to exchange ideas on best practices and innovations in medical education. Faculty members can learn from one another, share experiences, and develop new teaching strategies that can enhance the quality of quality of education which we impart to our students. The national level online FDP is an excellent opportunity for faculty members to learn and engage in hands-on activities through learning management system, which our professor has already explained, and how this program is going to be conducted. And also we can interact with the experts in this field. The program also offers live sessions from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. for 7 days, and I encourage all the participants to make the most of this opportunity. In addition, the program offers a certificate from the Kerala State Higher Education Council upon completion, which is an excellent recognition for your participation and learning. The recordings of the session will also be available through learning management system, allowing the participant to revisit and reinforce their learning. So, in conclusion, I urge all the participants to fully engage in these programs, take advantage of the resources provided, and apply the knowledge gained in their respective institutions. Let us work together to provide quality education and prepare our students for a rapidly changing world. On behalf of Kerala University of Health Sciences, on behalf of the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences also, I extend my warm regards to all of you who have taken this chance and utilized it for the betterment of our society. I once again thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to address the esteemed faculties all around our country. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Rajasree. Thank you for those words. Now we will move on to the felicitation by Reverend Dr. Antu Alappadan, Director of St. Medical Academy, Chalakudy. He is a doctorate from St. Thomas Aquinas University, Rome, in spiritual theology. He has held the positions of Associate Director for AWAD, that's Association of Voluntary Agencies for Rural Development. He is an Executive Director, Sahrudia Engineering College and Sahrudia College of Advanced Studies, Konagada, Thrissur District, and is a vicar for St. Thomas Cathedral, Irinalakuda, Thrissur District. Over to you, Father.
Okay, thanks for the nice words. I hope you hear me.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. Respected dignitaries and dear loving participants, I am very happy to be a part of the inaugural function of this National Online Faculty Development Program on Outcome-Based Education, organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cell of St. James College of Nursing and St. James College of Pharmaceutical Sciences in association with the Kerala State Higher Education Council. In this fast and evolving world, it is important for us teachers, educators, and researchers to constantly update and redefine our competence. We know outcome-based education has significant importance in the present educational scenario. Outcome-based education is a model of education that deviates from the traditional focus, is a student-centered teaching and learning methodology in which the course delivery assessment are planned to achieve stated objectives and outcomes. The emphasis on outcomes creates a clear anticipation of what needs to be inculcated and proficient by the end of the course or program. Students will get to know what is expected of them, and teachers will understand what they need to teach during the course and program. The biggest obstacle in creating an outcome-based education curriculum is the lack of education. I appreciate and express my gratitude to all of you for your presence and your great interest in updating your skills. St. James Medical Academy is thankful for the association with the Kerala State Higher Education Council and IPSRT. My special mention to the principals of St. James College of Nursing and St. James College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, who took the initiative and organized this session. My wishes to all the participants. Thank you. I conclude.
Thank you very much, Reverend Father. Now we will have the word of thanks by Sister Terese, SIC Principal, St. James College of Nursing. She is a professor. Sister Terese, SIC, has completed her BSc Nursing from 𝐬𝐞𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬 Nursing, specialty from Father Muller College of Nursing, Bangalore, and PhD in Nursing Sciences under Meenakshi University of Higher Education and Research Institute, Mahar University, Chennai. Sister has a total experience of 21 years holding various prestigious positions like nurse educator, nursing director, and principal. Sister is an expert in geriatric nursing, bioethics, research methodology, virtual online classes, BLS and ACLS, and systematic research review. She has had 12 publications done. Over to you, sister.
Thank you, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Respected dignitaries, delegates, and dear ones. Good evening to one and all. Give thanks to the Lord for he is good, for his love endures forever. I admire and thank God Almighty for showering the blessings on this occasion. I am delighted to propose vote of thanks to all the dignitaries of this webinar, Outcome-Based Learning. First of all, I would like to thank the president of this august function, Dr. Rajasree, Dean Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Kerala University of Health Sciences. She is a well-known academician and an excellent administrator. And today she disclosed herself to preside over this function. We are really happy to have her as president of this function today. And also thank you for sharing the real concept of OBE in education.
Thank you,
I
sister.
thank her wholeheartedly on
Thank you.
behalf of St. James Medical Academy. Thank you, dear ma'am.
Thank you.
Next, I express my sincere gratitude to very respected Dr. Rajan Gurukal, former VC of MT University, Kottayam, a well-known social scientist, writer of a pool of books and articles, a true historian. He is an outright humanist, taking a keen interest in the education sector of higher education department of Kerala. And such an eminent personality agreed for inaugurating today's function and delivered the inaugural address. In spite of his heavy schedule, he could set apart some time to be with us today. He has distinguished himself as a public servant by being kind and considerate to the needy. He supported and encouraged us a lot of organizing this webinar. Also accommodate St. James family to use the platform of IPSR. On behalf of St. James family, I thank Dr. Rajan Gurukal for accepting the inauguration and thank sir for in his absence. I'm indeed grateful to Reverend Dr. Antu Alappadan, Director, St. James Medical Academy, for his great vision and enthusiasm towards quality maintenance and giving vivid opportunities to us to acquire knowledge and skills. He's a personification of all the virtues as a priest, administrator, and also he is a philanthropist and focus all his activities towards the betterment of human being. Today, Father felicitated the gathering with his great visions. Thank you, dear Father, for being with us and for your encouraging words. I am indeed grateful to Reverend Dr. Manoj Mekhedath, our Associate Director. He is the backbone of organizing all programs in our campus. Thank you, Father, for the permissions and support and timely support for this webinar. Next, I thank Dr. �𝐾 𝐲, Principal, St. James College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, for welcoming the gathering. And also thank you very much for your energetic interventions and valuable suggestions for organizing this webinar.
Thank you, sister.
Now, I wish to thank Dr. Mendus, the person who held the steering of this program, a great academician of Marian College, Kuttikanam, and CEO of IPSR Solutions Limited, an IT company supporting higher education institutions in implementing of OBE and innovative teaching, learning, and assessment strategies. In the midst of all these responsibilities, he extended all-hearted support to St. James Medical Academy to organize this webinar. Sir, your support is countless. May God bless you to carry the light, lit the world and beyond. Thank you very much, sir. I extend the bouquet of thanks to IPSR team for sharing your resources and facilities to us and being the navigation of this program. On behalf of St. James Medical Academy, I extend our thanks. I also extend my sincere thanks to the resource persons of the webinar, Dr. Mendus Jacob, Dr. Sunil Jha, Dr. Suresh Nambudiri. We are really thankful to you all and waiting for your thoughtful sessions. I appreciate the IQAC coordinators of St. James College of Nursing and St. James Pharmaceutical Sciences, teaching and non-teaching staff. They have taken a great effort, and each committee members, they spread their precious time and effort. I thank the chairperson and members of each committee. Thank you all. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation to all the delegates who registered for the webinar. We have more than 1,000 participants. On behalf of St. James Medical Academy, we thank you all for your enthusiasm to learn OBE. Dear all, remember the wording of our great visionary, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Learning gives creativity. Creativity leads to thinking. Thinking provides knowledge. Knowledge makes you great. Let this webinar make you great. All the very best for coming days, and thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Thank you for delivering the word of thanks. Now, today we will move on to our learning session for today. That will be done by Dr. Sunil Job KA. He's the adjunct faculty, Marine College, Kottayam Autonomous. Dr. Sunil Job has 30 plus years of experience in teaching and 10 plus years in corporate consultancy. He holds a PhD in mathematical education and has been an associate professor at MG University College of Teacher Education from 1999. He has started his career as assistant professor at Karnataka Rani College, Training College, Kollam. He has served as a visiting team member of NCTE for grant of recognition and as a resource person for the affiliation Renewal Committee of MG University. He's an active blogger in cutting-edge technologies in IT, education, and data science. Dr. Job has published a few articles in national journals and authored a few academic books and a reference manual in mathematics. He has also served as a resource person for a number of faculty development programs in outcome-based education, data science, e-learning, etc. Currently serving as an adjunct professor, Marine College, Kottayam Autonomous, and Chief of Academics, IPSR Solutions Limited. Over to you, Dr. Sunil.
Thank you, Sajan. Am I audible, Sajan?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So thank you, Sajan, for the wonderful introduction about me. So I'm much honored to be here with this group. I think there is about 100 participants now in this platform, and parallelly, many other participants are there in live streaming. So I think this is a very good group, and I'm much honored to be here with you to share some thoughts on outcome-based education. So this is really a very a long way to go. That is, we are to be there for 7 days, literally discussing on these outcome-based education and its prospects and how to implement it and how to make assessments on the basis of this approach. Outcome-based education will be discussing in the evening sections, which will be quite relaxed. And the most positive part of this section is that the real life of this webinar, I mean the workshop, will be there in the LMS. We have got a very beautiful LMS where you can interact with the multiple of activities which has been showcased in the lines of outcome-based education. Probably in this live sections, you may be probably listeners, but there you will be actively engaged in different tasks related to the outcome-based education, as Dr. Mendus in his section has shown this LMS, and for every 7 days there are a lot of tasks which has been showcased, and the most positive side is that there are some automated this outcome calculation materials also has been there. So I think that don't miss the chances, make the maximum utilization of what you have there in LMS. So probably actually this is a prepone section. Actually I was trying to be with you in the second day. Actually there is some inconveniences and some technical difficulties that Dr. Rajasree so was not able to join in this section. So actually he'll be coming in the last day. So actually his sections on outcome-based education is highly thought-provoking, and I think that you will not be missing it. You'll be joining us in the last day where there you can have some extended thoughts on outcome-based education. So here, as per the schedule, in almost all of my training sections, I think probably I have made training for more than 20,000 teachers in this during that COVID and post-COVID times. And probably in most of my sections, I used to start with Bloom's taxonomy. Obviously, we know that the Bloom's taxonomy, if you are going to make the real-time implementation or the implementation of the outcome-based education, the real sense, definitely this is something very important for you in all the phases of outcome-based education. So when I say that all the phases, I mean that at the formulation phase, if you want to showcase very beautiful outcomes, which has been very realistic in the lines of outcome-based educations, you need the support of Bloom's taxonomy. It's streamlining the outcomes in the way that it could be accessible. And in the interactive phase, the phase where is the real life in teaching learning environment, if you want to show that is justice to the teaching learning environment, definitely if you want to identify what or if you, I would like to put it in the other way, if you want to make because according to the outcome based education, the teacher's role is that of an engineer. If you want to engineer the teaching learning environment the right way, which suits the outcome based education, definitely this Bloom's taxonomy will give you a frame of references on how to select the different methodology, and how to showcase the different technopedagogical content in order to streamline the learner in the lines of outcome-based education. So that is the interactive phase. And in the post-active phase, that is after teaching, definitely the post-active phase is evaluation phase. So if you want to make the real-time assessments on the times of the assessments in the lines of outcome-based education, there also we need Bloom's taxonomy. So obviously this Bloom's taxonomy has been spanning outcome-based education to the entire pipeline, whether it is pre-active or whether it is interactive, whether it is a post-active, the entire pipeline of outcome-based education, or the entire topology of outcome-based education spanned by Bloom's taxonomy, something very important. And I know that this is not at all a new concept, Bloom's taxonomy. Probably about 90% of the participants, the Bloom's taxonomy is something they have already known. But still, it's important that you make a rethink of what you know. So let it be a revisit, that it will not be a loss, because if you want to make the real time, the real quality implementation of outcome-based education, the Bloom's taxonomy is something very important. You will be realizing it while we progress through our sections. So let's go to the first section, which is on Bloom's taxonomy, and I have got few slides to share with you. So let me go to the presentation mode, and obviously we got some technical network issues, so I think I'll be this closing this video for the time while I'm sharing on the screen. So now I have, as usual, I ask two questions. Now at this point of time, whether my slide is visible and you can hear my sound without interruptions. If both okay, please someone of you could unmute and say your comments, or you could put your comments in the video. Okay, I think some thumbs ups is coming up. So I think the stage is set. There is no issues from my part. We can go ahead. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your thumbs ups. A lot of thumbs ups are coming. Very fine. So obviously, when we speak of Bloom and taxonomy, definitely the word itself is relevant, that it's something which has been contributed by the one of the greatest this psychologist of the time, Dr. Benjamin Bloom. Actually, this taxonomy is been presented in its first form by Dr. Benjamin Bloom. And obviously, when we say about taxonomy, it means a classification, right? So the Bloom's taxonomy is nothing but we are classifying the learning, the learning ladder. I would like to put it in that way. Why learning ladder is that? The learning is something which happens in a maxima which goes from simple to complex, or from direct to abstract. That's the ladder that the learning happens in an individual. So that roadmap between this simple to complex, so from direct to abstract, that roadmap between these 2 points is been classified into different levels of its complexity. So this Bloom's taxonomy is all about what are the different levels or what are the different phases which lead us from simple to the complex. So when we move from the simple to complex, definitely that will bring about some different cognitive challenges in the learner. So on the basis of that, we are just categorizing the roadmap of learning from these two ends on the benefits complexity. That's all about Bloom's taxonomy. This, probably you'll be knowing that. To begin with, definitely Bloom's taxonomy is something which is related with the learning aspect. Definitely, it's always better to begin with a slide on learning. So I have just included one slide on learning. So is my slide changing? Okay, I think it's there because I've just kept my mobile also open so that I could view. Okay, the slide has been changing. So this is a very I don't think that there is a more simple statement about learning than this, because we have got a lot of beautiful definitions, very complex definitions on learning, and I've just taken one simple definition on learning. So what it reveals is that learning obviously is a process. When we say that it's a process, there is some product which has been associated with the process, because all the process may lead to the product. So learning is a process that lead to change. When I say that, what is the change? The change is something which happens in the person who is been learning. Probably we call him as a learner. So if you just take that statement, and if you just reflect on that, the learning is a process that brings about a change. So if you can just think of the scenario where you are going to a classroom. At the beginning of the class, definitely the students will be having some initial behavioral level. Okay, so, some behavioral level at the start point. And definitely you will be trying to interact with the students with the multiple methodologies and strategies. And you're trying to bring about different environment in the teaching learning environment. And by the end of the class, definitely there will be some terminal behavior. Okay. So when the class starts, there will be some initial level of behavior. And while the class ends, definitely the students will be transformed or elevated to a little higher level. And that differences, we can say that it is a change that has happened by your influence on the students, by the curricular activities that you have rendered during that particular period of time, right? So suppose if the initial and terminal behavior are same, definitely the time that you have spent is just a waste. So definitely there will be some changes which has happened in the students by the activities that have influenced them. So this change that has happened in by your interaction in the classes could be considered as the outcome of that class. So every class, when you enter into a class, you will be having some micro outcome which has been prefixed. That is all about outcome-based education, which has been saying. That is, you are prefixing outcome before the activities and ensuring it by the end of that activity. So that change which you are prefixing at the initial state could be considered as the outcome, and that particular change which you ensure after the end of the section, that's what outcome-based education focuses on. That's the most simplest way of telling about outcome-based education. Suppose if you're given to handle a paper for as a part of the program, one paper as a part of the program, isn't it? At the initial level, before you are going into the class for taking that courses, the students will be having some level regarding that paper. And by the end of the entire 6 months classes, you will be completing that particular paper, 6 or 3 months, whatever it may be. You will be completing that course. So after the end of the course, definitely the students will be elevated to a higher level. So what is the differences? What is the differences after completion of the courses and initial point? That differences is nothing but the course outcome. And that course outcome you have to prefix in advance and ensure it by the end of the course. And similarly, if you are extending it to the program level, when the student come for an admission for a pharmaceuticals degree or for a nursing degree, they'll be having from initial set of learning levels at the initial set. And when they pass out as a professional, definitely what are this level that they should attain? The difference is nothing but the program outcomes. So this is the learning as often we could say that the learning is a process which brings about some change in that individual. And now let's come to Mr. Benjamin Bloom. So this change can happen in three areas. What are the three areas where the change can happen? The change can happen on how you think. That is something related to the intellectual thought process, which we can call it as cognitive domain. The change can happen on how you feel. That is how you create values, how you value something, how you what the change which has been happening in the attitude dimension, etc., etc., etc. So that particular change can be something related to the affective domain. And the change can be happen on how you do perform some mechanical that is exercises or some mechanical activity which has been related to some motor skills. So how we perform that is the change. So definitely learning is a process which brings about the change, and the change can be in these three levels, and that is what Bloom's taxonomy emphasizes. The Bloom's taxonomy emphasizes on how these changes happen in these three levels. So the Bloom will try to showcase the different levels on how the change is happening on the intellectual levels, how the change is happening on the affective level, and how the change is happening on the psychomotor level. So that is all about Bloom's taxonomy is trying to bring about. So this is Benjamin Bloom, the man with a lit with a smile. He's Benjamin Bloom, and definitely you can read the first statement which has been given by Benjamin Bloom. It's quite encouraging, right? You can just read what any person in this world can learn. What any person in this world can learn. Almost all persons, if there is not having any severe challenges or something like that, what every person in this world can learn, almost all person can learn. And there is a if clause there. If provided with appropriate prior and current condition of learning. Because prior and current condition, why prior and current condition? That itself is an indication that learning is something happens in a continuum. If you want to fix something at a learning substances at this point of time, it should be connected with something priorly. So definitely learning is something which has been happening in a continuum. So if the knowledge which have to develop in the student, it should progress from simple to complex in a form of a continuum. And the issue is that if the teacher has been able to identify what level of learning that you're trying to bring about in the class in the through the particular interactions, then definitely he should ensure that what is the prerequisite that the student should have in order to accommodate the presence of stuff and substances. So that could be really done in an effective way. But if you have an idea on Bloom's taxonomy, that's why Benjamin Bloom has says that the problem is that you are not able to connect the current conditions with the prior. That's a problem all about. So if you are able to identify that the level of the students and what the level of the learning that you're trying to induce in the students, and if you are able to make a continuity between them, definitely the learning will come out in its real sense. The students will become more and more productive in their and efficient in their learning processes. And you can read this one. The Bloom's taxonomy is a set of what is this three all about? Three hierarchical models. These three is that what I have mentioned, what I have mentioned in the previous slide, that the change can happen in three domains. So that is a three hierarchical models used to classify educational learning objectives in the level of complexity and specificity. So that's what about Bloom's taxonomy, how the learning happens from simple to concrete in the knowledge level, in the affective domain as well as the psychomotor domain. So that's about the Bloom's taxonomy all about. That is, the three models are something related to the intellectual abilities and skill, which we can call it as cognitive domain. Or it could be something related to feelings, emotions, and attitude, which we could call it as affective domain. And physical and psychomotor skill, how you perform something, that could be considered as this bunch will contribute the three, and that three is something is the change that is bringing about by the what we could say that learning process. And in the Bloom's taxonomy, we'll be giving prioritizing on the cognitive domain, and to a greater extent that the cognitive domain will be the principal component which have gotten access towards both the affective and the psychomotor domain. So we are more focusing on the cognitive domain. Probably this is something, the revised form of Bloom's taxonomy, revised form. Sometimes probably you will be familiar with the Bloom's taxonomy, and sometimes if you are in the early stages of your education, you will be knowing about the Bloom's taxonomy in the pre-revised version. That is that is the original version which has been brought about by Benjamin Bloom in 1956, and it is only after 2001 that the revised version of Bloom's taxonomy has been put forward, has been suggested by Anderson. So what the difference is that here in the revised version, this is these levels are like this knowledge, comprehension, application, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. That was the pre-revised form. So here all these statements are put in the form of a noun. And now here, all these levels are being showcased in the form of a verb. That itself is being made evident that now the learning environment is just like verb-like. That is, they should be involved in activity. And the only change is that all these first four levels are going parallelly, but here in the pre-revised version it was synthesis and evaluation, and now actually these two positions has been reversed in the new scenario of 2001 revised Bloom's taxonomy. So let us check out what these revised Bloom's taxonomy says about. So I think the basic, the first level of learning, the basic level of learning is remembering. And what is remembering all about? When I say that I remember, what do you mean? Definitely, I will say that, yeah, I keep something in memory. I remember. Remembering is something related to a memory level of learning. So have you ever thought that how this memory happens? Isn't it? Actually, as an individual, an individual has been connected with the external world by his five senses, right? You are hearing me. So what has been happening is that the sound which I have produced is been creating some vibrations, and that vibrations has been reaching your ear, and this in the ear definitely that will create vibrations in the eardrum, which has been transferred into the chain of ossicles, 𝐻𝐻𝐿 tapes, and it will transferred into the cochlear, and it will be reaching the central nervous system, and it will be getting deposited over there. Similarly, you see some person, what has been happening there? Definitely, the light which has been falling on that object will be converging into this eye lens, goes to the retina, goes to the optic nerve, goes to the central nervous system. So that's the powerhouse where everything gets stored and memory happens. So all these images that and impulses that reaches you to the five senses will be getting stored in the memory at the first instance. So that level is remembering, getting stored. So when it gets stored, definitely it is not necessary that you would have digested or understood the real meaning in its all level at the length and breadth. So that is what the first level of learning that is remembering. And when you are putting some intellectual processes with these impulses that has got stored into the memory, definitely you will try to understand the meaning of what you have seen, heard, or something like that. So intellectual apprehension, you perceive something, both memory as well as intellectual process will bring about some meaning of what you see, hear, or something like that. So definitely the concept formation happens. So, that is, you learn about some process, some theory, some principles. The concept will form in the mind through understanding. So this is the next higher level of learning. And what is the next higher level? The learning becomes meaningful only when it is connected to some utilitarian dimension. So the application, that is applying something, is that whatever thing that you have assimilated into your mind has to be transferred. I repeat, transferred into some unfamiliar situations where you are able to solve that problem. So you are able to solve the problem that is what application is all about. So you got some concepts, and you're transferring that concepts in order to solve this problem. So, for example, if the person has been suffering with an injury in the radial nerve, obviously you know the concept about the radial nerve. So you are transferring that knowledge then towards so what all muscles and movements are affected by that injury, so that you are transferring it into the functioning of it, and whatever the muscles is being affected by that, whether the elbow movement is being affected. All these things comes because you're applying that and making it into real frame. So that is how the application happens. And what is the next level is analyzing. Analyzing is obviously we know that if you want to analyze something, you have to fragment a complex environment into different components, and then you'll be applying the knowledge into the different components, and you try to find out some associations between them, isn't it? So that is analysis. So analysis always having a breaking down of a complex system into its compactable components, and then applying that knowledge into these components, and you're trying to find out the relationship between them. That's really the analyzing part deals with. For instance, if you want to have a thorough analysis about the human body, to study the human body as a whole will be something complex. So what normally we do is that we can break that human body into different systems, like skeleton system, nervous system, muscular system, and then learn it separately and try to find out the associations. So if you are having with some issues, some health issues, how these systems are affected, and trying to find out the associations. So that gives a better diagnosis and treatment to the persons. So that is an analysis. So if you are going with the research, you will be setting out some objectives, and these objectives are analyzed in different angles. And after analyzing, you will be clubbing up and coming up with some conclusions. So analysis often have some breaking up the scenario into different components to make it easy, and to learn separately it in detail how it functions, and then try to bring it together, synthesize it, and to get the answers. So that is something which has been happening at an analysis level. And the next higher level is definitely evaluating. So evaluating means you are in the level of a judge. Judges, you are in a level to pass some judgment. If you want to pass some judgment, definitely you have to be thorough with the entire system. Suppose if any system have a breakdowns, so what does definitely you have to do? You have to split. You have to examine the different systems separately on how it is being functioning as an independent unit, and how you can combine it and find out what is the issue all about, isn't it? So that is analysis, and on the basis of analysis, you can pass the judgment. This is the real cases. So these both the analysis and evaluations are very closely packed. Only after thorough analysis, you will be able to give a clear-cut and authentic evaluation. So that's something. So the analysis. Suppose if you are asked to judge an art form, a dance form, definitely what we have to do is that you have to set different criteria about the steps, movements, etc., and we have to analyze it separately on the basis of the criteria with respect to the different participants which has been taking actively involved. And on the basis of analysis, how each criteria is being specifically done, you can put together, and then you can pass your evaluation like that. So only after thorough analysis, only evaluation comes, giving the what you could say your judgment. And what is the highest level? The highest level is creating. So obviously, as the word says, that creating, do not say that copying something and putting it in a different format. The creating is that you have to bring some genuine innovations or something new of your own contributions, not something copied from that. That is something at a create level. So definitely every research activities will be tailored into a create level.
So if you want to have a thorough, that is a roadmap in the level of creativity, definitely the scenario that is been currently at the present, which has been there regarding the system, has to be mastered. And then only you will be able to identify what is the shortcoming of the system. And only on the base of that shortcomings, you will be able to go ahead and to create something new in order to overcome that shortcomings. So that is why in every researches, the more importance has been given to review of literature or analysis, because analysis will make you aware about what is the current situation which has been happening through the journals, about the different happenings you are analyzing, and you are understanding what is the present development in the scenario that you are learning or to make research. And that will make you feel the necessity of some that is a necessity for some change which has to be there. And it is that necessity will lead you to a better research finding, something like that. So that is how the learning should happen. So the learning is something which happens as a continuum from the basic first level into the highest level of creativity. And I have just included one simple statement, so beautiful, that is, learning is a process. Obviously, which I've told, learning is a process engineered in such a way that one level is a prerequisite for the other, and the learning happens in a continuum. So that is why if you want to have a thorough evaluation, a thorough analysis is important prior to evaluation, isn't it? If you want to evaluate, you have to set criteria, analyze on the basis of criteria, and then only evaluate. And only of the thorough evaluation you will be having, you will be sensing some felt need, which will drive you to your creativity. So that is something, everything has been happening in a hierarchy which moves from lower to the higher order. And the negative part of our higher education institutions, which has been often said, is that we are always centralizing our classes and education in this lower level. That is, we are stuffing them from some concepts, and even it can go up to the application level. So our education system is being locked in this lower order thinking skills. So that is the problem there. So recently, many CEOs of higher education, many CEOs of from the industrial scenario says that the students are passing out of the Indian universities are not employable. That is 93% of the students are confused graduates. They are not being directly employable. So if you want to adopt, if you want to get them into their work environment, we have to streamline them, give them training for about more than 1 year or something like that. Then only we can give them some assignments or projects, something like that. So that is something very, after spending about 4 or 5 years in a professional colleges, and again that employer have to spend so much of money and resources for streamlining them, for making them actively involved in some productive activities with respect to that environment. That's something very bad. So that is the problem of the higher education system. We have to take the teaching learning environment from lower order to the higher order. Definitely the students will be able to adopt with that particular environment, which will really enhance their quality and then make them a very productive unit of the society, as well as the industry or whatever environment that they will be in. So now going little more deeper into this process of Bloom's taxonomy, which that is, I've told that the learning happens in these different levels. So definitely it is something important for an educator to set their assessment system in these levels. So how to frame questions, at each levels of Bloom's taxonomy is something very important. So obviously, I've said that remembering is what is the basic, the first level of the basic level of learning, where the students try to. So I've then trisected this slide into 3. What are the demonstrated skill? Learning is something which has been happening inside the students. So we will be able to access this learning only through the behavior or the responses that the students exhibit.
So these are the skills that the students exhibit at this level. That is, they recall the information, facts like that. Recall, they try to recall from memory, ability to recall knowledge, dates. So this is something, this is are the questions which happens in the remembering level. For instance, these are the verbs that may help you to frame questions at this remembering level, like list, define, state, recite, recall, etc. For instance, let me take, because I was talking to you about Bloom's taxonomy. Now, if I ask a question, list the various domains of Bloom's taxonomy, definitely you will be saying that the Bloom's taxonomy has got 3 domains. One is cognitive, other is effective, and psychomotor. So cognitive, I have explained, and you know that what is cognitive domain. But affective and psychomotor, I didn't give any explanation on that, but still you answered that question. So definitely that question only answering, that question only needs some memory level to just to memorize some terms related to that. That's what, without knowing what it is, you will be able to answer. That is just memory level of question. So cognitive domain, I have said, but affective domain, I didn't say that. The affective domain is an hierarchy which happens between this receiving, responding, valuing, organizing, characterizing. I didn't say that, but still you could answer that. It is affective domain. I didn't say anything about a psychomotor domain, like imitation, manipulation, precision, articulations, and naturalization. I didn't say anything about that. But still, you are able to answer without knowing these are the different levels according to that. So here, what I would like to say is that this is something could be answered at a memory level without knowing the knowledge. You'll be able to answer. This is another a question with the define. Define multiculturalism. Define multiculturalism. Here, what you would say, definition is something which you have to write, that is the statement which has been given by some other person. And I've seen teachers who are deducting marks for putting some errors in the punctuations in that statement. We can just imagine. So it is something the student is losing the autonomy to express their point. They have to write that person's remark or statement exactly like the same thing. So that is that could be done easily by memorizing the words that he has used to express the point is being showcased there. Or name the union territories of India even without knowing what is the union territory, what is the state, what is the privilege that the people is having in a union territory. You are able to answer that question. Or suppose if I ask, what is the largest organ in the human body? Definitely, you can say that it is the skin. Or if I ask that, what's the medical name for collarbone? You can give that name without knowing the structure of the collarbone or something like that. You will be able to give that name. So likewise, suppose if I ask that what are the muscle that separate between the chest cavity and the abdominal cavity, definitely you'll be giving diaphragm. Without knowing the structure, function of the diaphragm, you'll be able to give that answer. So that answer is focusing only on the remembering level of learning. So that is remembering level, just to memorizing it. So the next level is understanding level. So in the understanding level, you have explored the meaning of what you have set in your memory. So understanding brings you the informations, the meaning about what you have assimilated into your mind. So that is it. Grasp a meaning, translate knowledge to new content. The translating knowledge to new content, you are able to explain some things. That's which has been happening when you understood something, right? So this one. So these are the verbs. No issues. These verbs are showcased in that your LMS, and not only that, the videos will be there. If you have got some technical issues, if the videos get interrupted, don't worry. The recordings of the sections will be available. No issues. So the LMS is a very rich platform where you can interact with your peers. That's the importance here. You can post your questions there, and your peers will be coming to that platform, and you can interact. So learning happens the most when we interact, right? Okay, coming back. Understanding, these are the demonstrated skills that you can expect from these students, right? So here, because the first question we will be going in that track in Bloom's taxonomy. In the previous, I just asked only list. Now I am asking you to explain the various levels of learning in cognitive domain. So what you have to do? You have to explain the different levels of the Bloom's taxonomy. That the Bloom's taxonomy of the cognitive domain has got 6 levels, and what is being significant at the first level. So what are the that is what happens, what are the responses that you could expect from the learner at this level. All these things you could explain the things. That means if you want to explain, that means you really understood that concept. So concept level learning is happening. So you are able to summarize it. You are able to differentiate between two concepts. That means it is because you understood it. A student differentiate between apple and orange. That a small child, because they understood the concept. So that is understanding level. So here, explain, restate the multiculturalism in your own words. So before they have written the statement which has been given by some other persons without making a small differences in the words, and which they have phrased exactly the same like that. Now what they're doing is that they are writing it of their own words. So doesn't it make more sense? Because they understood the meaning and they're putting the things in their own words. So that is something. So suppose if someone writes in their own words about the meaning, that should be valued higher, because they understood the concept rightly, and they have expressed their vocabularies and writing this statement in their own words. So suppose if they are writing that multiculturalism, I just often says that multiculturalism is just like a fruit salad. Obviously that's something very interesting. What is fruit salad? Different fruits are existing in its own identity. Just like that, in a multicultural society, every subcultures will be existing in its identity, which has been bounded by a cohesive cream like that. Suppose if it is India, we have got different diverse cultures which has been bound together with the cream of nationalism like that. So if the students are able to answer it like that, definitely that is higher learning. We understood the multiculturalism is not like a melting pot, or it is not like a mixed fruit juice. In the mixed fruit juice, what is happening? The entire fruits is being ground together to form a simple homogeneous compound. So that is not multiculturalism. Everyone has been existing in its own identity. If they're able to realize like that, definitely that the learning has happened. Or discuss the privileges of union territories. So before they mentioned, just like in GK, then definitely they here they are able to understand, express what are the privileges that the union territories, rather than naming. That is something higher. Or suppose if they ask differentiate between tendons and ligaments. Obviously, if I want to differentiate between them, they should have the conceptual knowledge about what is tendon, isn't it? Or what is the ligament? That is, the tendon is something that connects muscles with bone, and the ligament is something that connects bone to bone like that. They should have that clarity, that knowledge, that they could express it. So that is an understanding level. So this is something the learner, we can expect from the learner at this level. So these are the questions which that is even the person as a higher order learning, but these are the questions which only demand an understanding level. So that is what we say that understanding. And what is application, applying? Definitely, I told that in application, they have to transfer the knowledge that they have assimilated into some different situations. You can just read, use method, concept, law, theories in new situations. In new situations, that is transferring something into the new situations. That is solve problems using required skills and knowledge. You're going to fix a problem by the knowledge that you've gained, solving the problems. That's all applications. So these are some of the verbs that help you to frame questions in an application level. Okay, so you can, because the first question, we can go in the lines of the Bloom's taxonomy, what Bloom's taxonomy is all about, isn't it? So here we can say that frame few questions related to each domain in your subject. What is the significance of that question? Frame few questions related to each domain in your subject. That is, you have to create a few questions in your subject in the lines of Bloom's taxonomy. So you are transferring the knowledge of Bloom's taxonomy to the subjects that you are handling, and you are preparing the questions at each level. So you can prepare a question of what remembering level from your subject, understanding level from your subject. So transferring that knowledge. So that is application. So application always have a transferring of knowledge from what you have conceived, what you have got it assimilated into a different environment where you have to able to solve the things. Okay, so illustrate few multiculturalistic practices. What you could say, illustrating multiculturalistic practices in education. That means they understood what is multiculturalism, and they are transferring that knowledge into the educational systems, and they are able to figure out what are the practices on the lines of this multiculturalism like that. So this is how this application level, the application level happens. So now going into the analytical level, how the learning happens. You can just go through this one. That is, in an analyzing, we know that the analyzing, it is I would rather like to put it as a higher order application. That is, you are just handling a complex situations. So complex situations should not be handled as such. They have to be broken down into different subsystems or subcomponents, and you have to apply your knowledge into these subcomponents and to try to find out some connections between them. That is the analysis that you have to bring down. So this breaking down, this analyzing always have a breaking down of the system, a complex system into parts. Suppose if you're writing a software program, and this software program is got hanged, it is not working. So what do you say? You'll be then that is breaking that program into different sub programs, and you'll be checking whether these programs these sub programs are executing in its right way, because the end answer is not we are getting. So you can just check it out from different sub components and see whether it is executing fine, and then you will be able to identify where at which component it is having an issue, and you will be able to go into the syntax of these sentences, and you will be able to fix that one. So that is what analytical sense means. So breaking a system, that means breaking in the sense just dividing the system into different subunits or subparts, and identifying the relationship between them. So these are the verbs that you could use. So we are discussing about Bloom's taxonomy. The first question is about Bloom's taxonomy, right? So in the previous question, in the application level question, what I asked is that I asked you to prepare a question in your subject by applying the knowledge of Bloom's taxonomy, isn't it? You have to apply the knowledge of Bloom's taxonomy and prepare a question. Now, I didn't ask you to prepare a question. I am giving you the question. I am just giving you the question, and I am asking you to identify which Bloom's taxonomical level that each question could be categorized. Isn't it? Categorize these questions. Categorize is there. Categorize these questions in as per the different levels. So what do you have to do? Take a question. You have to take one question, and then you have identified the 6 levels. You have to check the verbs which is there in the question and the concept which is there in the question, and you identify whether it is going well with the first level, or whether it is going well with the second level, or whether it is going appropriate with the third level, to which level that this question is addressing rightly, fixing it rightly. Then you will be identifying, okay, this level. So you are analyzing the questions with the different level and finding out the result. You will be familiar with that that SALT analysis. Probably every graduates in a science domain would have gone with the SALT analysis. How SALT analysis happens? That is, you are taking a small component of a small portion of the salt, and then you will be doing different tests, nitrate tests, brown ring tests, like that, different tests you are doing like that. And then finally, what, on the basis of these different components, you are putting it together, and you will be finding out that this salt is such and such, isn't it? Our common salt, sodium chloride, or something like that. You will be by conducting of the experiments, you will be telling it like that. So that is what analyzing are all about. Or here, compare the practice of multiculturalism and monoculturalism. These are two different social systems: multiculturalism and monoculturalism. Like the monoculturalism, just like a dictatorship, and this is a democracy, democratic multiculturalism. So how can we compare it? So if you want to compare it, you can split the both this system into different components, like what is the form of government, what is the status of the people in both the systems, what is the state of welfare, what is the economic system, like that. You can divide the system into different components. You can divide the system into different components, and you can identify it like that. Oh, suppose if I ask that, compare and contrast between the skeletal and cardiac, the cardiac and even smooth muscle tissues. If I want to compare these three, how can you compare it? You can make an analytical level comparison. What is that analytical level? What is the structural component of the skeletal, cardiac, and the smooth tissue muscles? Or you can have, what is the functional differences? So you are just analyzing it in terms of structural and functional differences. So compare and contrast between the skeletal, cardiac, and the smooth tissue muscles is an analytical level question. You are answering it in an analytical way, like that. So this is how you have to identify the questions like that. So, and what is the next level? It's evaluation. Evaluation is something just higher than an analytical question, just higher to that analytical question. Because if you want to have a thorough evaluation, a thorough analysis is there. Suppose it is in an analytical level question, that learner is the form of a judge, and what the judge do, they will be just going through the different scenario of the cases, and the constitutional rights and the law of land, and then on the basis of that, they'll be passing out the judgment. That's what. So the constitution or the law of land, or these are the different criteria. So they'll be analyzing the case scenario on the basis of this criteria, and then they'll be passing out the judgment. Passing out the judgment, that is evaluation. So evaluation comes only after a thorough analysis. You are evaluating a dance form. Analysis has been done, and then evaluating. Now, suppose if you are submitting an SSR for NIRF for ranking, every year NIRF ranking is there. The different categories there, that is a university category, engineering college, pharmaceuticals. So likewise, different law, like that, different categories there. So you are presenting your 1 year performance. So they will be analyzing it on the basis of different criteria, like what is the status of teaching learning, what is the status of research, likewise, what is the perception of your college by the different persons, like that. Different criteria is there. They analyze it. They will quantify the score of that analysis. They will then they will find the average of these scores, and on the basis of this average that they got on the basis of the analysis, they'll be ranking the colleges as the best college in India, like that, isn't it? They'll be ranking the college. If it's engineering college, IIT Madras, they are constantly coming up to the first level, like that. If it is for the Arts and Science College, Mirinda, College of Delhi, that's there. So how it is that ranking is evaluating. So before ranking, a thorough analysis should happen, and on the basis of that analysis, they will be declared. So evaluation means there should be some criteria. On the basis of criteria, analysis should happen, and then you should be in a level to pass judgment about evaluation. So compare and discriminate between ideas, assess the values. So this is what this evaluating happens. So verify values and evidences and pass judgments. This is what analysis, evaluation happens. So these are the different verbs that may help you to evaluate, like access, decide, choose, rank, etc. So these are some of the what you could say that these verbs that help you for analysis. You can just go through this question because the first question is always I have just taken from the Bloom's taxonomy, because Bloom's taxonomy is what we are commonly hearing from me. So what is that? So what is that? Do you think that you could prepare questions of all levels of Bloom's taxonomy in your subject? And the question is justified. Question is justified. So we have learned about Bloom's taxonomy, and so if you want to answer this question rightly, you should know Bloom's taxonomy at its full length and breadth. You should know your subject. You should know how the Bloom's taxonomy could be incorporated into your field of study. And then on the basis of a thorough analysis, you will be able to come up with the answer to the question that, okay, the Bloom's taxonomy is not that good for my subject because I am not getting these questions from these areas. So it's not quite worthy to fit into my domain like that. You can I just passed a comment like that. So if you want to have a thorough justification, definitely a thorough analysis is something very important. Or critically evaluate multiculturalism practices, multiculturalism, critically evaluate that. What if you want to answer that question, it is 1,000 times better than what is asking what is multiculturalism. Here you have to know about the multiculturalism, the functional domain of the multiculturalism, how multiculturalism has been applied in the social context, and how the people the people move around in a multiculturalistic society. Only after knowing the full length and breadth and analysis only you will be able to answer this question that multiculturalism something very good, but it has got such and such merits and demerits like that. If you want to say this is something higher. So just asking what is multiculturalism, if you ask this question, you have become a functional level. You are evaluating the multiculturalism, but there is a risk also connected with this. What is the risk factor? You are asking this question and you're giving them notes in advance, then will it be an evaluating question for these students? No, they will just learn it by heart and they will be reproducing it either at a remembering level or at an understanding level. Sometimes if they are little more better, they will be using their own languages and expressing things better. So it is the scenario. It is a scenario that is what cognitive challenge that this question poses on the learner. That is the frame of references on deciding what is this question. So if you want to have the real evaluation, it should be genuine. It is not something you have to give assistance to them and make them answer. That's not the right way to go at the higher order. So if the students, if they are at the higher order, they should invest their potentials in order to find answers to these questions. Okay, so these are some of the evaluation questions there. Or suppose if you're asking a question in evaluate the benefit of the risk of using this the models of simulations in medical education, then definitely if you want to answer that, you have to put and evaluate. You have to evaluate on how it has been there in the patients like that. So the question should give them some opportunity to think. Opportunity to think on how these functions there and what is the impact on the basis of different criteria. They have to pass the judgment like that. And what is create? What is create? Obviously, it is the highest level. It is the highest level. Here, you are contributing something of your own. You can just read these demonstrated skills. That is, you are using your knowledge to answer some questions. Because in evaluations, you found that, okay, the system is having such and such issues. So you have to go ahead to clear that. So if you want to have a creating level, definitely we have to use our knowledge, which has been already assimilated in order to give solutions for some problems which is not answered so far. So that is what create. You are putting mostly. I just go for some these the technical viva for the MCA programs, the project evaluations, etc. So the first question that I normally used to ask them is that, what is the innovation in your project? What is your contribution that? What was the scenario that you identified that made you to select this project? So how do you sense that this is important, the need and significance? So so that has to be given more priority. So what is your contribution to answer that? So that is to be highlighted there. So that is the create element. So creating is not something copying from the here with putting the same text into some NLP model and changing the format and bringing it in something. That's not create. Creating is that your potentials, your innovative ideas should be there, integrated with something. Because in the arts and science subjects, okay, you're writing a poem of your own. It's a creative piece of work. That's why normally in our paper pen examination or in our summative examinations or the semester end examinations, you will not be able, it is not, you cannot put some create questions in there. So if you're putting some create question, what is the value point that, how can you create a value point for a create question? You're putting it for a paper pencil test. The value points, because the creative is is something of the student. The students are contributing something, isn't it? And they have to justify it, the richness by through some debates or discussions or by some justifications. So it is not possible to make an create level question in a 2-hour examination or a 3-hour examination is there. So for an examination point of view, to the maximum, you can come up to an evaluation analytical level or evaluation level questions. That is why at this level, at the higher education level, we are introducing some projects or researches in order to bring out some creative ideas from the students. So that is what the create all about. So you can just see the diagram here. For analyzing, you are breaking the system into different components and you're applying it and finding associations. And for creating is to a greater extent a synthesis of your knowledges in some scenario in order to bring something new. So now you can go through these questions and read. So what is this? Create a new model for classification of learning objectives. What is it? In the previous slide, you told that Benjamin Bloom's taxonomy is not compatible for my classes, for my subjects. So you have understood that there is a felt necessity for some modifications in the Bloom's taxonomy. So what is the next solution? Go ahead and create a model. So that is how the creating potentials should spread the wings like that. So that is what. So in arts subjects, you can develop a presentations to inspire multiculturalism. Or if you come to the medical field, you can just say that design an experiment to investigate the effect of different exercise programs on skeletal muscle adaptation in healthy adults. So this is an experimental situation. You can have an experimental group or and a control group like that, and you can just give the different experiments, and you have to find the differences there, and you are designing a new experiment model, and then you're coming up with some new conclusions that some research model is there. So that is a create level question that you can put it there. So I think that this has brought some clarity regarding the Bloom's taxonomy, even though it's there, it's not new to you. Some clarity regarding the Bloom's taxonomy at a granular level for our subjects that we are handling and how to frame questions. And I will just give you a small tip for increasing the quality of the education in the educational institutions. That is the simplest way of enhancing the education of the quality of education is just to enhance the quality of the assessment system. How to enhance the quality? Because the remembering level, conceptual level, understanding level could be considered as a lower order thinking skill questions. So if you are just focusing on that, that will never take the students into a very productive person who's been able to solve the problems in whatever weeks of life that you are about. So the higher order questions like application analysis, evaluation, these are the higher order questions. So you have to take the assessment tool into the higher order so that the students will be bound. If you are putting questions from the higher order, definitely the students will be able, are bound to reach that level. So definitely they will put more work. As Bloom has said, that everybody can learn, provided if you give an environment. So if you're giving an environment so that the students are able to come up with the higher order questions, then definitely that will improve the quality. That's why it is often said that assessment is the engine that drives the quality of an educational system. So it's the shortest cut. Now we know that the system of education is not being input based. We are not valuing completely on the basis of input. That is how many acres of land you have, how many buildings, what is the plinth area, that is how many sophisticated machines which is there. Now, one important criteria to measure the quality is that what is the status of the students that pass out, whether they are satisfying the outcome, and whether they're fitting well into the society, and whether they're fitting well in the professional platform. It is that which decides the quality. That is why when you're preparing some NARC report and all, what is the notable, what are the, what you could say, what are the notable alumni? Why notable alumni? They are the pass outs from your colleges and what level that they have attained. What is alumni status? What the alumni contributions? A number of questions will come in that way. Why? Because the quality factor is decided by the alumni which pass out of the educational system, not by the bigger investments that we put in the form of the brick and mortar. That is there important, but more important is that what is the the quality of the delivery. That is what Martin Luther King has said, that the prosperity of the nation depends not on the material resources, not on the material resources, but the citizens that contribute it. So it is the potentials of the citizens that contribute the nation. Likewise, it is the passing out students will decide the name of the institutions, not the how much acres of land that the institution have. That's not the way. So this is identify the types of questions in this context. So the thing is that now we know that when we are going with the new educational policy 2020, the watchword of new educational policy is this autonomy. That is, all the institutions will be coming into an autonomous status, either independently or as a cluster. And the students are having autonomy to have multiple entry and exit. And they have got the autonomy to select any, not program, but courses from different colleges like that. So definitely the quality will be decided from not from a program level. It will come down to a course level. So that courses will be get glorified and highlighted in the future. So definitely framing the courses with the right outcomes, and also not only showcasing the outcomes, you have to ensure that these outcomes are met, because now these social medias are very powerful. There are, everything is transparent, so all the reviews regarding the students will be quite available there. So definitely both these will decide whether the students would come to your college for your course or some other courses like that. And because the recommendations of new education, recommendations of exam reforms often suggest that take the questions from LOT to HOT. What is LOT? Lower order thinking skills to higher order thinking skills. And if you are having an autonomy, then you will be having the this opportunity to find out which is what percentage of questions should come from higher order and lower order. And it is always better to include, not to exclude a lower order. Definitely about 50 to 40 to 50% should be there, but an equal representation should be there from the higher order too. So there is a small question. Can you give the level of blooms according to this question? You can put it as K1 for remembering, K2 for understanding, K3 for applying, K4 for analyzing, K5 for evaluating, K6 for creating. You can put it in chat. I was looking there. Which is the level of question? Question is analysis. Question is analysis, but read the scenario. Students learn from notes. Notes have killed that analytical questions, right? So you should not kill that question is analytical question, but that the student is not analyzing it. He is learning the things and he is putting the thing in some polished way. So I think it is better to put it as K2. Find the volume of the cube when one of the side is known. Volume, obviously, when we say that calculate, find volume. What is it? Find the volume. Obviously, there is says that there is a chance that we will. There is a probability of writing it as an application because you have to calculate something. No, because volume is what the formula side into side into side, and instead of side, you are putting what the measure of the side. So it is just only an understanding or even a memory level. It is not more than that. So if you're asking that, okay, a cubical tank has to be filled from a tap like that, that definitely that is an app. You have to apply the volume there to find. Then that is application. So directly calculating volume is not an application. It's K2 only. The students asked to conduct an experiment. Yeah, our salt analysis, isn't it? Conduct an experiment and examine the result and record its conclusions. Okay, it's a salt analysis, right? They have to test, so obviously it is an analytical questions there. Debate on pros and cons. Yeah, what is the merit? What is the demerit? What is the merit? What is the demerit? What is the merit? What is the demerit? Pros and cons. Yeah, you are analyzing it. You are analyzing it. So that is it. Match the following: invention and inventors. You only match the following, matching. Or if you are books and authors, even without reading a book, they will be able to know that which is the author of this book, isn't it? It is just a remembering level question. What is a remembering level question? This is I'm not asking it, because create a new model, because you have already told that Bloom's taxonomy is not well. It's okay. It's create. That's fine. And we have got a very beautiful task also, which is there. I will just show it because I know that the time has exceeded. Then definitely, actually, I was trying to come tomorrow only, but since because of the pressure of the situations, I came today. Anyhow, also tomorrow also I'll be there with the introduction to Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, I will check on. So this is something which has been available. This is a automated Excel sheet which has been available there in the LMS. You can download it, and there is a very beautiful narration regarding what to do. But still, I am just giving a small introduction to that. This is a question paper analysis. You want to just check it out whether you are able to identify the different questions level. Okay. So suppose if you are having about 10 to 15 questions there. That is, you can take any one of the previous examination question paper, university examination question paper. Probably it may be having 15 questions, say. So, okay, you can take the first question. There's a drop down. First question is from first section. You can read that question, and now I think you are on the level to understand what is the level of that question. If it is an understanding level, put the understanding level. What is the mark? Second question, application level. Okay. It is at a remembering like question, 2 marks. Then again, next question, question A. Section A, read that question, and suppose if it is a little understanding question, a conceptual level question, you can put the mark. Likewise, you can put the section, then you can put the level, and you can put the marks. Okay, if it is a B part question, okay, if it is again an application level question, and if it is 5 marks, okay. So you can put if there are 15 questions, you can put all the 15 questions. If whether it's choice or whether it's or no matter, you put all the questions, and you can. Our intention is to identify whether you are able to identify the level. And there you can enter the program name. That is if it is B Farm or something like that, you can put the program name. You can write the course name, the year, semester, and this will give you that what percentage of marks is from understanding level. Here we could say that 15 and 40, that is 15 percentage is from remembering level, that is 15 percentage marks is from remembering level 4 to 6, and only 38 from understanding level. So that this gives a graphical representation, an automated graph, and you can write the remark there, save it, and you can submit it. So that is the task which you do. If you have any error, if you have any doubt regarding the task, no issues. In the LMS, there is a very detailed explanation record on how to do this task. Both with the audio as well as visual also is there. So it won't be any problem for you. So with this, I'm registering my thank you there. So over to you, Sijin. If the platform is open, if you have any doubts, we can take up.
Yeah, we are ready to take questions. Thank you, Sunil sir, for the wonderful session. I think there might be questions for you to answer. If you have, if any of you have any questions to Dr. Sunil, please post them in the chat and we'll pick that up.
Sorry that I made you to sit for a few minutes. So don't worry. Next section, I will be trying to stop little earlier, because this is, I told that it's because of the pressure of situation I came today.
Please make sure also you do the lesson activity and the task which is there in the LMS. Then you will get a better understanding of what you actually learned today. I think everybody is happy with this session. I can see. All thank
Okay,
you.
so no worries. When you go to the LMS, there is a forum. Actually, the learning becomes higher at a higher level when we interact in forums. Because you can contribute your doubts there, so that we will be visiting, and more than that, your peers will be visiting. That is, the persons who are handling the same courses, they will be answering that questions from their own experiences like that. So this is a platform for collaboration also, because like 𝐻𝐸𝐞𝐤 says that the learning happens when we the zone of proximity get cleared when we go with the interactions. That's why collaborative learning and cooperative learning should happen. So there's a platform for collaboration and cooperative learning. So no worries. We will be also coming there at times, and we can also contribute there. So I think it was very nice to be with you, and I'm very happy with you. So I think we can wind up these sections. And there's one question that this is the principal component. Cognitive domain is the principal component that we utilize it in preparing, in formulating all these things. So this will be something very important only.
There's a question. Is there any feedback link? I will take that question. Feedback is there in the LMS. So once your sessions are over, you can actually fill up the feedback form. That is in the LMS only. We won't be sending a separate feedback form for this.
Okay, so thank you all. I think let us stop today's section for now, and we'll be meeting. I'll be there for 2-3 days, no worries. So we'll be discussing more on OBE, and we'll be going through the different activities. Obviously, we will be celebrating, right? That's the right word which I got while we are thinking about the experience ahead. So no worries. So thank you all, thank you all, thank you all. And
All
have
right.
okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Sunil. We will see you all tomorrow, 7
Okay,
p.m.
I think tomorrow is my. I am there. I'll be there tomorrow also.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Tomorrow, the
So,
Thursdays, 9th, 7
so
p.m. We will see you all.
meet you tomorrow. Don't worry that I'll not be making you sit up to 9. Probably we'll be concluding by 8:30 like that. No issues. So okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Have a good evening.